Okay, I've started recording, so I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to write this one out, okay? Because you've seen how to do it. And just periodically check out, make sure you're doing it right, okay? Is everyone okay with the first one? If you're not done, that's fine. Have a look at it and see if it was following the path, or see if you were following the correct path. Now, of course, please remember you can write this as plus or minus root 7 minus 2. Those are the same thing, right? Is everyone okay with this? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is what we call an exact answer. Why? Because we left this as root 7. Does 7 have a root? No, it doesn't. It's an irrational number, right? So if we were to do this on our calculator and get a decimal, that would be what we would call an estimate, because you don't know the exact answer, okay? Everybody cool? Now I'm going to show you something on your calculator today that will give you the estimated answer, right? That's not what we want usually. Sometimes you'll need to use an estimated answer, and I'll show you those times. But for the most part in grade 11, we want the exact answer. Is everybody okay with that? Yes? Okay. Everybody understands all these steps, right? There's nothing new here. Factor, complete the square, that's new. Add to both sides, factor, and everybody understands that this is giving us two answers, correct? Does everybody get that step? One of these answers is the square root of 7 minus 2. The other one of these answers is negative square root of 7 minus 2. Now, the next thing people ask me always, somebody says, what negatives and roots? What are you talking about? Does everybody understand this notation here? Why this is okay, but this is not. Does everybody understand that? Everyone in the room is cool that this is okay? Because whatever the root of 7 is, which is 2.5-ish, right? This just means negative 2.5-ish. Cool? Okay. So if you were going to punch that into your calculator, you would do square root 7 minus 2, negative square root 7 minus 2. And you would get your two answers. Everybody good? Okay. What is different about the second one?
Gross number.
This is yucky, right? These two work, no problem. But this, bleh. So if I factor that, I'm going to end up with a fraction, aren't I? But we took grade 5 math. We know how to add to fractions, yes? So we're going to have x squared minus 5x equals 2/3, yes? I'm leaving a blank there because this here is where you guys are going to go crazy. Half of you are going to want to put 2.5. What did I just tell you down here? We want to avoid decimals, yes? So what we're going to put there really is half of 5, which is 5 halves, squared. So what's really going there? 25 fourths. And we're going to add that to both sides. Okay? And now we're in grade 5 math territory. This is x minus 5 halves squared. Yes, it's easy to factor because you know it has to be the root of that and the root of that. Because we've made a perfect square, yes? This, you know how to add that. You're in the 11th grade. What's your common denominator? 12. So what are we going to have there? 25 twelfths. Or not 25 twelfths, 75 twelfths. And how many here? 8. So I'm going to have 83 twelfths, yes? Square root both sides. X minus 5 halves equals plus or minus root 83 over 12. X equals plus or minus root 83 over 12 plus 5 halves. Everybody good? And that's exact, and that's what we want. Okay, now I know it looks yucky, but really let's just break it down. There's really nothing there that isn't here, right? Here are the mistakes you're going to make. When you're squaring fractions, it's both. That's the number one mistake you're going to make. I'm going to have you guys hand me this type of question and tell me that it's 25 over 2. You're going to do that. Please watch for it. Is everybody okay with all methods of completing the square? Yeah? Okay. This box here, the next box on the page, is just to remind you of something. If the coefficient is not 1, so if it is 3x equals whatever, 3x squared, plus whatever equals whatever, I got to get rid of the 3. Just like I would get rid of the 3 if it was a grade 9 question like this. I would divide by 3 and I would get x equals 3. Okay? Sometimes it's going to work perfectly, like the first example. Sometimes it's going to be a real mess, like the second example. But the math is still easy and you still know how to do it. Okay? Do these 6 and find the exact answers for them. After you've done those 6, we're going to break out the graphing calculators. I'm going to show you something. Okay? It's not something that I want you using yet. We are going to get to using it soon. But I'm going to show you something with them so you start getting used to your graphing calculators. Okay? But first, do these 6. Go. You can work together. It doesn't matter. They're all not easy ones, but you'll notice none of them have a leading coefficient. But you are going to get some fractions. I'm just going to pause the recording. Actually, I'm not. I'll work through all of them, but not talk while you guys work. Okay? You can talk to each other. This is not a test. Look out for number 3. Something weird is happening there. If you have gotten to the end of number 3, just continue. If not, just double check, have a look, make sure you're doing stuff okay. I'm stopping halfway through there so anybody can ask a question. Here is where I'm envisioning questions. What has happened here? And what has happened here? And number 1, you shouldn't have had any problems with. Kelvin. The order after X. Oh, no. No. So over here, you're asking me, is this okay? Plus or minus root 19 minus 4. Fine. Everybody understands how 37 over 4 was achieved? Right? It was 3 plus 25 fourths, right? And 3 is 12 fourths. 12 and 25 is 37 fourths. Cool? The next thing that I imagine people had some issues with was right here. But that's just our last unit, right? Root 8 simplifies to 4 times 2. Out comes the root of 4. Everybody good with 1, 2, and 3? I'm hoping that some of you are noticing that it gets a little bit easier every time you do this, right? Like you'll notice I'm writing way less steps. Yeah. Oops. Keep working, get through these 3, and then when you're done 1 through 6, I would like everybody who doesn't have one to come and get a calculator from me. However, you must leave me, again, your cellular device. Because as I've said many times, I've had kids walk out of here without shoes. But no one has ever walked out without their cell phone. Which is frightening to me. It says a lot about our society. Or it says very little about our society. One of the two. I personally believe it says very little about our society. Take a calculator. Ooh, you're bringing 2, eh? Sweet deal. Pleasure doing business with you. Oh, you're bringing 2 too. Wow. 2.
Sorry.
Oh, you just have 1.
Sorry.
Hardly a high-rolling businessman. Business person. Okay, gender equity is important.
Yes,
All right.
I was laughing at the PC-ness of that.
Yes. Now, screw it. Yes, you may. Now, guys, if you got to something like this, I'm very happy. But be aware that that is simplifiable. Okay? Everybody cool with that? I can make that prettier. If you got to there, terrific. But please be aware that this is an option. This can become -7/2 plus or minus the root of 65/2. Right? Because the root of 65/4 is root 65 over the root of 4, which is 2, yes? And then, do I have a common denominator? So I could have -7 plus or minus root 65/2. Everybody okay with that? Root of 65/4 is root 65 over root 4, right? What's the root of 4? Cool? Everybody's okay with that, yeah? Okay. This is fine. The other one's better. Okay? But don't think that you can always do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of you on your very last test, not a lot of you, but a few of you on your very last test or assignment or something for me, I can't remember what, screwed up simplification. You got the right answer and you tried to do one more step. Just be careful. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? Number 5 was x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 6, which is x minus 1 squared equals 7. X minus 1 equals plus or minus root 7. X equals plus or minus root 7 plus 1. And 6 is x squared plus x plus 1/4 equals 3 1/4. Everybody cool there? So that's x plus 1/2 squared equals 3 1/4. X plus 1/2 equals plus or minus root of 3 1/4. X equals -1/2 plus or minus the root of 3 1/4. Now, if you got to there, can you simplify? Yes. Do I really care right now? No, but start getting in the habit. When should you make sure that you can simplify that? Is it more important that you are able to simplify it in this work that isn't for marks? This is when you should be practicing that, yes? If you can get it to there on a test, I'm still giving you 2.5 out of 3. It's still an A. Understand? Everybody cool with that? Kelvin? What? Simplify 2. Up here? Yeah, you could have. Yeah. Everybody okay? All right, now, has everybody got their graphing calculator in front of them? Okay, we are going to take a break from recording because we're going to... Don't listen. I'm going to be speaking quietly so it doesn't bug everyone, but I will be speaking while I work on it, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is factor that out, and I'm going to get x squared plus 6x equals 3. Then I'm going to complete the square. X squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 12. X plus 3 squared equals 12. X plus 3 equals plus or minus root 12. X equals plus or minus root 12 minus 3. And if I simplify that, I get plus or minus 2 root 3 minus 3. That is the exact answer. Now, I also asked you on sometimes to sketch the graph. So, if here I am going to find the approximate roots, I would go to my calculator, and I could do this in two ways. I could do minus root 12 minus 3, and I would get negative 6.46. So negative 6.46, and go back to my calculator, root 12 minus 3, and I would get 0.464. That is the approximate roots. Now, if I want to graph it, I go back to my calculator, I go to y equals, and I have to punch this in this form. So what's screwed up? This has to come over. This has to come over. So what I punch in is 2x squared plus 12x minus 6 to get in that form. 2x squared plus 12x minus 6. Enter. Graph. There's my graph. There it is right there. Second, calc, zeros. And I'm on the left, enter, then I'm going to move to the right, enter, then I'm going to guess 0.464. There it is. Then I'm going to go second, calc, 0, and now I'm going to go all the way over and find the other one. So I just keep moving my cursor till I am on the left of, here it comes, there it is, left boundary, enter, right boundary, enter, yes, enter, negative 6.46. There they are. And if I wanted you to sketch the graph, it would look like this. Negative, and this would come up right by 0. Okay? Okay.